Floods, earthquakes, and portals to other worlds, all on today's amazing effects, but can you guess how the effect was done before we tell you?
So you're gonna watch a clip in front of you and you're gonna try to figure out how
This is like always a blooper.
and try to figure out how they accomplished the effect at the time that they made it.
Yes.
Done. I'm not laughing at you. It's just, I got the giggles.
The rains came. They did what?
I feel like a middle-aged mom watching her kids play. I'm like, oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's like stitched and then it looks like miniatures, but then it looks like they had some sort of summoned witchcraft to help them capture this.
Oh damn it.
No, I was like, I told you. Told you. That's why I built the fucking ark.
So there's definitely miniature, other practical work, maybe some rear projection. Yeah, I would say just a mixture of those things.
To guess partially, there's a couple of really effective moments, but some miniatures and then some like kind of rear projection. So in every shot, it just feels like multiple things are going on from what I can tell.
The Rains Came is a 1939 film that has an incredible natural disaster sequence at the midpoint where an earthquake triggers a massive flood. To accomplish this, the filmmakers used a combination of miniatures, full-scale sets, matte paintings, double exposures, rear projection, and actual stunt work, pretty much every technique available to them. Staging it all at night was a smart choice, allowing them to hide a lot of the scenes in darkness. But you can still see here where the miniature of the dam breaking is combined with the live-action footage of the actors running. But what I love about much of this is the use of traveling mats. Unlike most films of this era, the water breaks through over top where the live action was living, unifying the image and really selling the effect. And they use this consistently throughout the film, like with this shot here. If we go frame by frame, you can see their mats progressing to engulf the actors. But the mix of the full-scale plates of the actors and the miniatures with the flood is consistently impressive throughout, masterfully utilizing darkness to combine the two. The flood itself was done on a Fox soundstage using a 50,000-gallon tank, and a total of 14 cameras were utilized for the miniature dam break and the subsequent destruction. The production of the film was 100 days total, with half of that just for shooting this insane sequence. In the end, The Rains Came went on to be honored with 5 Oscar nominations, taking home the award for Best Special Effects, beating out both The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind.
I've never heard of either of these movies.
This is not good for someone with migraines. This is Vertigo City.
That looks hydraulic for sure.
They have a miniature of that house that they run out of, and then some rear projection of the trees.
That's awesome.
But the earth's opening up. Yeah, that looks real to me somehow.
I say rear projection with sets on hydraulics.
Green Dolphin Street gives us another sequence of destruction caused by an earthquake, which as a result leads us to yet another massive flood. Similar to The Rains Came, these effects were created with the use of rear projection mixed with live action stunt work and scale models. For shots like these, they rigged sections of the ground to tremble, throwing the stunt actors off balance and realistically move structures, while playing several of these in front of rear projection to extend the scene. This was all built full scale on a stage with a shaker floor mounted on springs and a shallow drop section that could step down on cue, leading to this very convincing moment of the ground breaking below the actors' feet.
Are there actual dolphins in this movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Whoa. Hey now. What? Squeeze me?
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, that's a miniature too. Whoa, that looks really good.
That's better than some visual effects that have happened this year.
Geniuses.
That's crazy.
That's pretty great. Still disappointed because there's no dolphins in that scene, but I'm gonna forgive them for now.
Outside of the hilarious looking miniature guys, considering that this is from 1947, I think that might be some of the best miniature work I've ever seen.
Well, a lot of miniatures.
The miniature work in this film is gorgeous. For me, I thought this was a full-scale shot until the flood came later to reveal that it was actually a miniature. But this entire dam-breaking sequence is insanely impressive. The foreground ravine and foliage were built at 1/12 scale, and the background elements were built to 1/24 scale to enhance the illusion of depth. The cliff miniature was about 40 feet high and was mounted on coil springs, which allowed the set to be shaken from side to side. The water tumbling down the cliff was dry gypsum gypsum powder, which was often used in practical special effects to simulate dust, debris, or the look of falling plaster and rubble during earthquakes, floods, or explosions. But the shot I love most here was this one. You have obvious rear projection, but it's the inclusion of the real water interacting with the rear projection that extends it and really sells the whole thing. And just like the rains came, Green Dolphin Street would take home the Academy Award for Best Special Effects that following year.
I've never seen this.
That's Paul Newman right there. That old handsome devil.
A lot of water work in this episode.
There's real water and real fire in that shot.
Someone's watching this just so thirsty right now. You thirsty bitch.
The building shot is what makes me think that one's a miniature. But there is a lot of real explosions and real water in this thing.
Oh, dude. That dude just took a fire hydrant to the face.
God bless the stunt guys, but a couple of these people get drilled, which is how I would want it. That wasn't an innuendo.
Yeah, for the most part, everything just seems like they actually just did it. Outside of the building shot. The building shot looks like a miniature.
Continuing the trend of disaster films, we have the Towering Inferno from 1974. This sequence was not filmed on an actual 138-story building because safety. For the exterior shots, filmmakers used a Bank of America building, while the rest was achieved with miniatures and clever camera work. To capture the blaze realistically, they constructed a 60-foot model of the building, allowing the fire to scale convincingly on screen. But the thing that I love most here is everything they did for real. The fire, explosions, and massive amount of water crashing through this scene. To pull this off, they designed new dump tanks that could hold 800 gallons of water each. They would then rotate these to release the water at a controlled speed. The faster they turned the cylinder, the quicker the 800 gallons were released. So they just actually flooded the hell out of this set, which is apparent when you see this guy get absolutely annihilated by the water. The fire throughout the film was real as well. Over 57 separate fire sets were built with only 8 left undamaged, requiring tons of firefighters to be present during production. Sets were kept in extreme heat, with the actors often only feet from the flames, clearly adding to the performances. A producer even fired a handgun into the air to elicit genuine reactions to loud noises, which is, psychotic. Another innovation was the use of 4 camera crews, one for character interactions and close-ups, a second for action shots, a third for special effects, and a fourth for aerial, sometimes filming simultaneously to cover all aspects of a scene. We have several more films to get to, but before we do, I want to thank today's sponsor, Envato. So many of our sponsors are companies that we've loved for a long time, and Envato is high on that list. We've been using their site for well over a decade now, and that's because they have every type of asset for every type of project. It's genuinely a bit insane. They have video templates like logos, intros, title cards, and full promos built for software that you use like Premiere, After Effects, and Resolve. But they also have stock footage, music, sound effects, graphics, design templates, stock photos, 3D, fonts, and web templates, which, again, is insane. So it's literally anything that you need with all this under an unlimited plan, so you can download as much as you want with no cap. 2 of my favorite personal sections are 3D and fonts. There is a lot of great 3D models here, including a lot from Kitbash, so you know the quality is going to be high, whether it's different elements to build out a scene or a single model for a specific effect. Then we have fonts, and I love fonts, and what I love most here is that I can see their vibe very quickly in thumbnails while I scroll, which is a godsend for quickly discovering the font that fits your work. The beauty of this site as a whole is how easy it is to shift through, find what you need all in one place, test as much as you want before committing to an asset, and then do it all over again without hitting limits. Because again, you can download as many of the millions of assets that you want without hitting any limits, since again, it's all under one great unlimited plan covered by a lifetime commercial license. And recently, they've included a lot of AI tools as well, so subscribe to Envato now and use our link in the description below to let them know we sent you.
Is there an earthquake in this movie, or are they gonna have no dolphins either?
That was dramatic.
Yeah, shove the woman under the car. That's a good idea.
Oh, I guess not. Oh, I guess not. Everybody's dead.
Man, this is a lot of chaos today.
Run, girly. Damn.
The shot of the ground that's kind of moving is some sort of like hydraulic set they built to look like the road.
Oh, shit.
Oh man. Well, they blew that house down.
Practical again. They just did all that.
So final answer, most of these explosions and stuff is real. The hydraulic road where it lifts is just a special.
To sell the effects of 1974's earthquake, miniatures of Los Angeles landmarks were built at 1/6 scale, which was chosen for its realism when filmed at high speed and projected normally. The miniature sets were destroyed using a variety of techniques, including piano wire to trigger collapses, strategically placed explosions, and rigged debris, often shot outdoors under natural light with the San Fernando Valley in the background. Matte paintings were also used to extend the sets and blend miniatures with live action. But for me, again, like the Towering Inferno, it's the things that they did for real that really sell the whole, like the debris launching down at the stunt performers. And you could see often that these aren't just soft foam props either. And at times, they were dropping 6-ton chunks of concrete to crush cars while stunt performers were just feet away. For the moments of homes collapsing and exploding with stunt performers interacting with that environment, full-scale facades of homes were created on the lot, then destroyed. They also created Sensurround, a groundbreaking sound system that used massive subwoofers to generate deep, low-frequency vibrations. These rumbling tones not only filled the theater with sound, but physically shook the auditorium, allowing audiences to feel the quake as well as hear it. The low-frequency vibrations even rattled tiles and plaster, prompting Mann's Chinese Theater in Hollywood to install safety nets to catch falling pieces. But Sensurround helped make Earthquake a major event film in 1974 and one of the year's top-grossing releases.
My God. There's just so much going on.
This is just Kurt Russell's Tuesday afternoon.
I mean, a firefighter movie starring Kurt Russell, you gotta have some real fires.
Fire seems practical.
But yeah, a lot of that fire just looks real to me.
Oh no, my God. That's disturbing.
I mean, it's a really amazing shot. The one looking down on them.
They used wire rigging, obviously, with mainly lighting, and then they just comped in fire.
I mean, it's real fire on him, but if they did that with some sort of wires, I don't know.
Directed by Ron Howard, Backdraft is a film about firefighters, so of course it's loaded with fire, and originally they tried to do it all digitally.
We thought they may be able to digitally create fire, and that would make our job a lot easier. And we ran extensive tests, and 6 weeks before we were supposed to begin filming the movie, we got the test back and realized that it looked bad, it looked phony, it did not have the intensity of real fire.
So they just did it all for real. The Backdraft effects crew spent 3 months testing flammable mixes: alcohol, kerosene, diesel fuel, and propane, all on a burn stage to create dirtier, more realistic fire than standard gas jet flames. They used steel tanks that sprayed the fuels through nozzles before ignition, including a 100-gallon unit nicknamed Big Bertha, capable of producing a 60 by 20-foot wall of fire. In addition, they burned about 1,000 gallons of rubber cement, going through hundreds of cases. Fire effects were also enhanced by filming flames in slow motion on inverted sets to make them appear to crawl across ceilings and walls. And Kurt Russell, Billy Baldwin, and Scott Glenn all earned stunt credits for performing their own dangerous work, including being set on fire. In this warehouse scene, about 20 explosions were staged as the entire set burned, with Glenn and Russell actually suspended 70 feet in the air by cables while Glenn was ignited for the shot. So these two actors are really hanging above real fire while actually on fire. And while it didn't win, it was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Visual Effects, and would inspire a special effects attraction at Universal Studios Hollywood, which opened in 1992.
I loved this movie when I was younger.
I don't know. Maybe they used a bidet for that.
What the hell?
Wow.
Is it in like a tank?
So it's like they built this circular thing and then tilted the camera and then got something to give it that swirl.
This is probably going to be super wrong, but maybe they had like a glass tube that they just shot like pressure into the water or something.
Stepping away from natural disasters, but continuing with another Kurt Russell film, Stargate was released in 1994 and follows a linguistic and a military team who activate an ancient portal to a distant world. The Stargate here was built practically, 22 feet in diameter, using metal and lightweight fiberglass. A variable speed electric motor powered the belt drive to rotate the ring, while pneumatic cylinders, which were lightweight and jackhammer-like, moved the catches in and out, driven by compressed air released from a high-pressure tank. For the gate opening, they used real water, not CG. They built a clear, round tank about 3 feet across and started testing. For the first burst of the gate opening, an air blast fired just above the surface made the water collapse inward, then snap back out. Early blasts were too strong and blew the tank dry, but dialed to a much lower pressure and shot at high speed, it produced that clean push and pull you see on screen. For the idle whirl of the water, they found that shooting in slow motion with a gentle stir would create that steady look they wanted. Those water plates were then composited over the 22-foot practical gate with a laser grid inside the ring marking the exact plane of the surface so the element could be lined up perfectly. They also found their gate entries during these tests. With the shot lower, the surface of the water inside became like a mirror, so with the camera tilted on its side, the actor could bring their face in, clear the air bubbles away, then act the scene in reverse. Then when the footage was reversed in post, they had their moment.
Okay, Volcano.
I'm gonna say they used lighting, and that's just CG.
I think these shots are stitched, but how they made the lava, my guess would be like a miniature set where they were able to light this science experiment from below to get that orange texture, and then they had this sort of black foam texture to be the molten lava.
The 90s were arguably the most commercially successful decade for the natural disaster genre since the 70s, largely due to a leap in special effects and blockbuster culture. And for the final two films of today's episode, we have two Volcano films that came out 2.5 months apart from each other. Volcano is exactly what the title suggests. For the lava, special effects supervisor Matt Beck explained they used two kinds of lava, a milkshake thick goop for miniature sets and a digitally created lava. For the physical lava, the crew tested lava behavior, even hanging a sneaker above molted bronze lava to see when it would ignite, which eventually informed the effect of the man being consumed by lava. Beck ran two teams simultaneously, developing both CG and miniature lava with the goal of blending their strengths for seamless cuts between them. Miniature water geysers enhanced with digital manipulation simulated lava bursts, while volcanic ash was created with shredded and ground newspaper. For the miniature lava, they used a fast food milkshake ingredient, dyed and tinted until they got the color they wanted. Then they placed this on top of fiberglass board and hit it with an ultraviolet light and fluorescent tints to glow. They had 6 of these tables on gimbals so they could tilt the tables to allow the lava to flow toward the camera in different ways. And finally, to ensure a seamless transition, textures from the miniature lava was also wrapped onto the CG lava to unify both approaches. And the effects team built one of the largest sets ever constructed, so the filmmakers could constantly destroy this city block every night for about 6 weeks. The structure was reinforced to withstand repeated burns with pipes installed beneath the buildings to regulate fire strength. So this moment right here that I originally thought was a miniature is a full-scale set.
Truck looks healthy.
Feels like the shot inside the truck looking out is a miniature of the flipped car. And then the jib, the booming up from the little car, and the 18-wheeler feels like a miniature. And then the truck in the background is what sells it to me to go, wait a minute, is it stitched with some coverage in the snow somewhere?
I thought this was snow until I realized it was ash. If it's real, the cleanup must have been awful. I'm gonna say they sprayed some sort of substance and just did it practically.
Our last film is Dante's Peak. While Volcano focused on big city action spectacle, Dante's Peak takes place in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. For the volcanic ash effects, that was all just there, in the shot, not digitally added in post. And to make the ash, they used a mix of finely ground newspaper shavings and cellulose insulation. Industrial machines and air cannons blasted it across the town's set and forest, requiring the cast and crew to wear masks and goggles for weeks. The ash coated everything and was so massive that they had to hire a nearby environmental company using trucks with giant vacuum cleaners to clean up the mess. For the big dam break scene, they built the largest water tank of its time, holding 680,000 gallons above this ash-covered miniature set. It cost $1 million and took 4 months of construction, and at the top of the set, tilting gates were in place holding back the water. So once they were set, they flipped the gates open and released about 100,000 gallons per minute onto the river set below. The water was tinted gray and filled with debris, sawdust, and mini logs, and with only one chance to capture the effect, cameras filmed it from multiple angles, with 3 cameras failing to operate properly for the shoot, leaving them them with just 7 good angles. These productions show that the art of disaster filmmaking lies in the meticulous planning, technical innovation, and the willingness to merge old methods with the new to create illusions that both terrify and captivate audiences. But how many effects did you get right? Let us know below, and if you have a shot that you'd like to see us break down, post it in the comments as well. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.
See you later. Ta-ta.